Hello everybody, Model Farm 6710 back here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make 132 scale hedging for your model farms slash diorama. This is kind of a cheap way, and then there's a cheaper way and there's a more expensive way. There's like 3-4 euro on the difference, but same time that's still €3, €4 on the difference anyway. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using steel wool and then the top of a scrub of a sponge. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm experimenting myself. I said I'll give you a go. I'll bring you along on the journey of me experimenting, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll show you what you need first off. Right, so I have two ways of doing it here, and I'll just show you this is what you'll need. So you'll need some sawdust here from cutting up wood with a saw. You can just collect this after you cut up a bit of saw. It should all fall onto the ground. You collect it. I've a bit of wood glue. PVA glue will do. It does the same job. I've green spray paint here. And then you have an option between if you want to do the sponge type one, or you can do the wire wool one. So you're going to see which one you fancy. And then you're obviously going to need a brush and a scissors. So, kicking things off, I'll show you the prices of things. So, for these three little scrub things, I got them in my local hardware for €1 for the three of them. And what I'll be doing is I'll be folding them over with a bit of glue, and I'll be putting the sawdust on it for a bit of effect to make it look a bit like choppy. You know, not every hedge is perfect. There's things popping out and everything, and then obviously it's not the right green, so I have the spray paint. So that's the cheaper way. And then just moving up to the steel wool, I've grade 1 steel wool and I have grade 2. Oh yeah, that's grade 1 and that's grade 2. So you can see this one is more choppy, more realistic. Well, you know, it depends what you're going for, I suppose. And that's more fine stuff, so in around like a garden or something. So I've the two ways here. So we'll start off with the I'll start off with the sponge. So right, so I've unboxed the steel wool, and I just have it here. So I'm just gonna cut off maybe that much of a length, and I'll show you this then. Right, so as you can see, I've just chopped it off with the scissors, and what I'm going to do doing is I'm going to fold it nice and kind of just, you know, nice and even, and then I'm going to maybe toughen it enough, maybe bring out a little bit, and I'm going to have my hot glue gun here, and I'm going to just layer it. That's one of the things I didn't say you need. You need a hot glue gun to, you know, when you're folding it over to make it thickness, maybe kind of nice and thick for the taking pictures and everything. So I'm gonna warm up this, and I'll glue it and fold it over. So, right, so I've glued in here with the hot glue gun, and it's folded over nicely and everything. But I just put on my PVA glue, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my brush, and obviously I can't do this well because I have the camera in my hand, but I'm gonna spread it over real nicely, and I'll show you. It should be kind of mostly white, and then I'll put my sawdust on, so I'll show you that. Right, so I evenly coated it here with the PVA, as you can see here, and I just sprinkled a bit of PVA, a bit of sawdust on, so just kind of like this. It might leave a bit of a mess, but make sure to clean up your mess. And basically, like so, it'll add a little bit of texture, and kind of makes the wires that are sticking out maybe have a little bit of leave, and you can just, you know, kind of looks, it still needs the spray paint, and I'm basically going to do this all over, but I'm not going to do it here because that's where the ground will be. But yeah, I'm going to do it on all sides, and then I'll show you me spray painting it. Alright guys, I am back the next day here, and as you can see, it's all dried. It's looking lovely, and as what this sawdust does, just isn't like prickly and everything. It adds like leaves, basically. It makes, you know, that the bit sticking out and everything has a bit of texture to it. It's not all just scrubby. So Now, I am experimenting, but I'm going to spray with green spray paint here. So, I just have it here. So, I just have the... I'm just going to spray it along. I'm going to bring it outside and I'll let it dry. So, as you can just see, I just have it outside here. I've done the other side, and basically all I'm going to do is this. And if I find it's a little bit too bright, I'll add a little bit of darker green, but I'm going to do more coats and I'll show you when it's dry. So basically, I just have my... This is the second project. I'm just waiting for the the spray paint to dry on the wire wool one. But I'll start off with I'll do this one in the meanwhile. So basically, what I'm going to have to do is... I'm going to layer it in glue, basically, on one side, and I'll fold it over. So I'll grab my tripod and I'll show you that. Right, so, basically, I'm just going to fold it over before I glue it. I'm going to give it a nice kind of folding over. So as you can see, that's kind of what the hedging will be looking like. Now, I'm going to grab my glue gun and just layer on the glue. Make sure you get the corners, and that should be enough. Now you can fold over it nice and even, and you can give her a bit of a squish. Make sure she's alright. And I have just previously done one of these. I'll show you now. That's one without the sawdust, and this is one with the sawdust. And I'm just going to see, like, because this one doesn't need the sawdust, but I said I'll experiment. You know, it's all experiment that I have here. So, I'll spray paint the two of them, my green colour here, and then I'll show you this, because I find the sawdust acts like leaves, and it kind of prickles out a bit more, but yeah, I'm going to spray paint them up, and I'll show you the wire one and this one. So this one was very simple, just a bit of glue and a bit of spray paint. Right guys, I'm just out here with my spray paint, and I just got my darker type one. I'm just going to give it a bit of a lick. I'm using dead grass around me, so, but yeah, I'm just kind of giving it a darker coat, and then a lighter coat. So I'm going to do that all around, make sure there's no blue in it, have her pure green basically, and then I'll show you the wire one, and I'll show you these ones. Right, so guys, everything is spray painted. I have my lovely pieces of sponges here, and my wire wool. So I'll put the tripod down, and I'll show you the wire wool. Right, so the wire wool actually came out very, very nicely. As you can see, the sawdust gives it an effect with the trees. I can't keep saying that. Like with the leaves and everything, it looks very nice, and I can't wait to put on the diorama. This colour actually looks a bit dark on camera, but I think, personally, I think it's grand in person, but I may get a lighter colour for it. But then I'll move on to the sponges. So the sponges came out well as well. I might give it a bit of a, I'll just, it kind of needs a brighter colour with that sponge. But no, they came out very nice. I'll bring them up to the diorama. Then this one, I got the sponge and I put sawdust on it. Scrapping that idea with the sawdust on the sponge. There's no need for it. This one is already prickly enough, and this one would suit, I'm after touching that spray paint, but this would suit, any kind of normal garden. You could chop the size, have a little garden, so that one's kind of perfect, and then that'll be all rough enough for down fields and a farm and everything. So I'll bring them up to my picture diorama, and I'll show you. So guys, I'm just up here in the model farm, and I have my hedge in here, the wire one, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to glue it down. Now, looking at this, the sawdust, it kind of, it looks very nice, and I think it looks a little bit dark, I think. If I get brighter spray paint, you can do that yourselves. But the texture is what I'm looking at. The color is the main thing, though. What I'm looking at here. So I just have to glue it down with the wire wool. It's very easy. And just there's a little bit of whiteness down there at the bottom, but that's all a part of building. So kind of just layering it in hot glue. So the wire wool. Let's see how it turns out. Kicking things off. So the one thing I'd say about the wire wool, very easy and stretchy. Very nice to bend and everything. So we'll have a look at how it is with models. So as you can see here, I just have the 2620 out, and it actually doesn't look too bad. Sorry for that shaking there. Doesn't look too bad. One thing I'd say, I'd get a different color next time. It's too kind of turquoisey, I think. But we'll swap out the tractor. Just it looks good though with the scenery and everything. I wouldn't put it down on marks now. As you see, it's kind of, you can put it up whatever height you want. Obviously, I've learned. Obviously, this is only experimenting, and I will in the future. Maybe next few days, if I get my hands on some other green spray paint, that'll be perfect, I think. So we'll see how it goes. I'll do the spongy ones now. They're kind of the same color, similar enough. So obviously next time I may get a different color. It's too turquoisey. I'll fix this in a later date. So I just have the sponge here, the spongy one. And obviously this one is cheaper by around €4. Yeah, just in and around €4. But when you're looking at detail, that doesn't really matter. Like €4, it's not going to give you a big break in the bank. But when you look at it, you get more in the wire wool, sort of. So you can look at it. So just as we see here, you know, it's a bit perfect, I think. Obviously you can curve it nicely like the wire wool there. Obviously I put this on with the glue gun, very trusty glue gun, and we'll get a tractor in front of it and we'll see how it looks. Right, so let's bring over the John Deere here. As you can see, it kind of just, this is a small enough, I mean not small, but it's medium sized tractor. It's very nice. So yeah, it kind of fits in nicely, I suppose. But I would say the wire wool has a nicer texture to it. This is too perfect. I wouldn't say if you trimmed it up nicely, it could look well in a garden. If you had a house, but not too many people have that. So personally, looking back here at the wire wool, I think the wire wool is a nicer fit, I think. Kind of more scruffy, kind of like a real hedge. So that's it for today. I hope you've got a good idea. I was experimenting. I learned a lot. The sawdust is good for the texture on the thing, but I learned with the sponges, it doesn't really look good with it. So yeah, I'm gonna change the spray paint one of the days there. But yeah, hope everybody enjoyed, and bye for now. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.